Meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Leonard Village Council. Today is September the 12th, 2016. I want to welcome everybody. We've got a pretty good start on the month of September. I think we all recognize the significance of yesterday in our history. It's been 15 years since the World Trade Center and the War on Terror started, but we're moving along, and I think America's healing and fighting the good fight. So with that, I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a brief invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us and guide us as we make decisions that affect this community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, we have a roll call for attendance of the Village Council.
President McDonald?
Here?
Trustee Sotheby here. Trustee Almoranti?
Here.
Trustee Hoffman?
Here.
Trustee Noaker?
Here.
And note for the record that Treasurer Judy Verse is present and Clerk Cindy Groskoff is excused this evening. Okay, Council has received the minutes of our last regular meeting, which was August 8th of 2016. Are there any questions, changes, or corrections? If none, a motion to approve the minutes would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Thank you. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes of the August 8th, 2016 meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, moving on to the agenda. You have before you several items of business. I would ask the council's indulgence if we could add two more. One would be the ProTech legal fund through the Michigan Coalition to Protect Public Rights of Way. And the other would be authorize a signature on the local road improvement program through Oakland County. So those will be items 4 and 5. If there are no other changes or additions, a motion to approve the agenda as amended would be in order.
Authorize signature on what?
The local road improvement program through Oakland County.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as appended, as...
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda with amendments, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Council has before it the treasurer's report for the month of August. Are there any questions, changes, or corrections? If none, a motion to receive and file the report would be in order.
And I'll make a motion to receive and file the report.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call please. For approval.
Okay. Trustee Almoranti?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Noaker?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes.
Trustee Sotheby? Yes.
Very well. Okay, council has before it the accounts payable for the month of August. Are there any questions, changes, corrections on that? If none, a motion to pay the bills would be in order.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills, general, $5,487.93. The major fund, $1,188.55. The local, $304.38. And the Mill Park Recreation, $0.
I'll second.
Mr. Hoffman, thank you. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call to pay the bills?
Trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
trustee Noaker,
Yes.
President McDonald,
Yes.
trustee Zebedee, yes, trustee Almarante.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comment. This is an opportunity for the public to address the village council. We ask that you be brief and to the point, and recognize that if you are here about a particular item on the agenda, that you will have an opportunity to address it at that time as well. Does anyone care to speak to the council? Hearing none, we'll move on then. At this time, we're going to have our scheduled public hearing for the reprogramming of monies in our Community Development Block Grant Program. I would appreciate a motion to close the regular meeting and open that public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we close the regular meeting and open the public hearing for the CDBG.
I'll support that.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, we are now in a public hearing. This is an opportunity for those present, and we did receive no correspondence on this, for those present to suggest uses of block grant monies that the village is considering reprogramming from their current use to a new use. So if there are any suggestions, now would be the appropriate time to do so. Hearing and seeing none, I believe we can close the public hearing and open the regular meeting.
I'll move that we close the public hearing and open the regular meeting.
I'll support that.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of closing the public hearing and opening the regular meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Mark that all were in favor, please. Not sure if you can do a roll call now. Okay. Moving on to new business. First item on the agenda is the reprogramming of funds for the block grant program from 2013 and 2014 to a new program year and use. Previously, the council had discussed there is $3,837.93 available in minor home repair in two different budget years. And what we're considering is those monies were not expended in the program year, and they're subject to reclamation by the county. So we are looking to reprogram them too. And we had discussed either putting them in minor home repair or into sidewalks. So at this time, it would be appropriate to make a determination on what we're going to do with that money. So council, what is your pleasure? We did verify that it is Cindy had raised the point that she wasn't sure about new sidewalks. There's two parameters, and you only have to meet one of the two parameters, and we do meet the parameter that if we construct new sidewalks that are connectors for the village, that we can spend the monies on sidewalks. So
We don't have anybody looking to get anything fixed?
we have
Improvements?
we have over $5,000 available for minor home repair currently. We haven't expended in over a year or anything in that.
But there's nobody looking?
Not that I have received no applications. So,
I go for the sidewalks and stuff.
I'm definitely for the sidewalks.
Yeah.
I'm good with sidewalks.
And I will budget appropriately some local money so that we can do some repairs while we're doing sidewalk work, probably in the next spring. So some of the bad sections of sidewalks that we have, as long as we're doing that, we should probably take care of them.
Definitely.
Okay, so in the form of a motion, what is the pleasure of the council? We're talking about reallocating $8,837.93 to sidewalks. If I
I'll make a
understand
motion for the project of the funds available to be put towards sidewalks, new.
The total of 8,000.
Up to a total of $8,837.93.
Mr. Almarani supporting. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, we'll better do a roll call for this,
Okay.
please.
Trustee Noaker?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes.
Trustee Sotheby, yes. Trustee Almarante?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the next item under new business. It is Elmwood Street project financing. I would inform everyone that the village did not receive any petitions or letters or any feedback in opposition. So it is my recommendation to proceed with the bond authorization resolution. And we are lucky enough to have with us tonight Robert Gavin and Sean Murphy from Schiffman Carlson, who are our bond counsel. And you may remember Mr. Gavin as he assisted us with the 4th Street project as well. So Mr. Gavin, would you care to address the council and the residents?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure being here. It's been 5 years, like President McDonald was saying, so it's a pleasure being back here. So the resolution before you was prepared by my office. Sean and I prepared it. It's based on specifications that we received from Benzinski and Company, who are the financial advisors that are proposing to work with you again, because they also worked with you 5 years ago for the 4th Street project. So we are looking at a bond of $150,000 to be amortized over 15 years. They think it will be about a 4.5% interest rate paid off over that time. You would pay it out of, I understand you raised the millage last year, so that it would be using your general fund millage that you raised to pay for the principal and interest on bonds. You would have interest payments in April and October, and I believe principal payments were in October. Is that correct, Sean? So these would be tax exempt bonds, which is really a benefit for the holders of the bonds. It lowers the interest rate that you guys would pay, and if it were taxable, it would be a higher rate of interest. We also are going to be bidding these. We have attached to the resolution is a notice of sale, that's Exhibit B. That will get published in the Bond Buyer, which is a magazine, a nationally published magazine. And that's what people that are interested in buying municipal bonds, they go to that to see what's on sale and when it's going, and then they'll throw in a bid. Bids will be received at a date to be determined in conjunction with the financial advisor and the village president. Once we figure out what date we're gonna set for the deadline for the bids, then we'll publish that notice, with sufficient time, usually like 2 or 3 weeks notice for people to get their bids in. And then the resolution also authorizes the village president to sign off and award the bid to award the bonds to the lowest true interest cost bidder. So you would be awarding it to the people that would be paying, you would be paying the least amount of interest on. Which is what you would want. So
Right.
you're paying the least amount of money.
Which is exactly what transpired with 4th Street.
Exactly, yes. So that's kind of the super high level summary. As you can tell, it's a rather long resolution. I am able to answer any questions you may have. If anybody has any concerns, I can answer them for you.
Council, any questions for Mr. Gavin?
Oh, you mentioned, people could bid on the bonds. So when it goes through the process, we have to wait until all the bonds are obtained by a bidder? Or we could-
Yeah, with the bonds that you have, it's kind of a lower amount than I'm used to seeing. So I would think that if somebody's gonna buy them, they might buy multiple of them. But if we don't receive sufficient bids, then we can look at other options for selling the bonds. A negotiated sale is the other option, where we could go sell to a local bank. You know, it's just oftentimes local banks are interested in purchasing directly. It's just that this way, usually with bidding, you're assured of getting a better interest rate. So I've not encountered a situation ever where bonds have not fully sold. There's just way too much money out there trying to be invested in something safe, and municipal bonds are considered very safe.
And tax-free bonds are very popular.
Yes, they are.
Are there any other questions? Okay, well, thank you, Ron.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sean, for coming. Okay, we have before us a bond authorizing resolution, and it does have a couple of exhibits on it. So if there are no other questions on them, then it would be appropriate for the council to consider adopting this bond authorizing resolution for the Elmwood Street project. Are there any questions from the residents, if present? Okay. Council?
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the project financing for the Elmwood Street project.
As detailed in the bond authorizing.
Detailed in the bond.
Okay. I'll second it. Okay, Mr. Hoffman seconded it. Are there any questions on the motion? If none, we'll take a roll call vote, please.
Sure.
Take your time. We appreciate you doing this, Shar.
Thank you, I'm very slow. Okay. President McDonald,
Yes.
trustee Sutherland, yes. Trustee Almoranti,
Yes.
trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
trustee Noaker.
Yes.
Okay, the resolution is adopted. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming again tonight.
Well, thanks for having us. It's a pleasure being here.
Okay, good evening. Safe home, too. Watch out for deer.
Well, we will.
Okay. Moving on to a new topic under new business, one that I'm sure is near and dear to all of our hearts, is history and the historic areas of the village. Our trustee, Shar Southerby, asked to include this on the agenda, so I will ask Shar to go ahead with what she would like to bring to us.
Well, what I thought I was going to bring to you is not what. I guess I have to back up and explain what I have to say. In Lakeville, they're losing, or possibly going to lose, a major piece of their history, and there's nothing they can do to save it. And that's why I went to the meeting, to see if there was something that could be done historically. And I found out from the meeting that no, that at this time can it be done. And I am concerned not only for that building, but for buildings in Leonard. And if you have, people typically think that if you have a historic building such as this one, that you can have it designated as a historic property. And through the state of Michigan, it is basically, what word did he use? it's just, it's a title. It doesn't really have a whole lot of meaning. The more power that you have, the most power that you have is in the local government, which is us. But even we cannot prevent a building from being sold. What we can, if we have buildings designated as historic buildings, what we can do is protect those buildings in that if they are sold, they can't be torn down. If there's alterations made to the buildings, they have to be somewhat historically correct. And I don't know if the village is all interested. What you start with is a historic committee. And the committee looks at your community and the buildings that you have and decides what of those buildings are historic that would need preservation. And you could use the example of Porter's store. If that building is sold and someone chooses to tear it down, there is nothing that we can do because they will own that property. But if you're a person that feels that building has some historic value, then we need to proceed with a committee that identifies these buildings. Once the buildings are identified, then you can, and I have this all saved on my computer that I can send to the office. You can have a historic district commission, historic district form. And that district can be contiguous properties, it can be a single property. And what I'm not sure of is if they're contiguous and say there's a house in between, does the house in between have to go under those restrictions? I'm not real sure on that as of yet. But those are things that I think people need to think about in this community. It is an old community, and before you know it, things could happen that would be very discouraged. Once a district is formed, the local municipality then has to have an ordinance recognizing your historic district. And the ordinance, all that really does is that when the planning, if somebody buys a property and goes to planning commission and says, I'm going to put all new windows in, that planning commission can say, wait a minute, that is a historic building, and this is the guidelines that the historic committee has set up that they will allow for these buildings. So it works in conjunction with your planning commission, but they have a lot of responsibility as well. And the last thing that you would form is a historic district commission. And again, that's a lot of steps, and I don't know how far the village is interested in going. We're not like some of these communities like Clarkston and some of those areas that have a lot of old storefronts. What I don't think we want, and now I'm speaking for me personally, I don't think you want to set up homes in that respect, because I don't think we're big enough and historic enough. And if you start designating homes as historic homes, then there's a lot they can't do. But you can protect the old buildings if you start a committee now that has to be made up of people that are interested in the history, that know the history, architects, builders, whoever is interested in that area.
Do they have to be from the community, or can we get them from?
Now, Oakland County is willing to come in and help us set this up, and I think they can be from the community. I asked because I was thinking of Lakeville. I said, would there be a value to us forming a committee between Lakeville and Leonard? And I didn't really get a definitive answer for that either.
Yeah, Lakeville is an unincorporated area, so that's technically the Addison Township. So
Right.
I don't know how the law would, excuse me, how the law would apply in that case. But I do agree, even historic districts without a historic commission, Lake Orion has done it.
Yeah.
I mean, communities all over Upland County have done it, and they actually do help improve the climate, if you would, and the attractiveness of the community. People will come to see what the historic district is in an area. It's like when we go out and visit somewhere, you're kind of drawn to those things just to see what it's all about. So there is an element there that would benefit us, even if we didn't go all the way to having a commission and having a set of guidelines and rules. And frankly, we did dodge a bullet in a sense with Leonard's Market, because at one time he wanted to tear that down. And there was such an outcry in the village, fortunately, and the planning commission agreed that it was not a good plan. And obviously the owner went back and rethought things, and he gave us a little gem, a refreshed little image that actually helps lift the community, at least judging from the reaction most people have had. So perhaps we could follow up on this with the county and find out what the membership would be, and then we could, what requirements would be, and then we could ask for volunteers.
Yes. The other thing that if you have a committee, if you have old properties, old homes, there's all kinds of videos, information out there of what type of mortar. For example, I got the formula for this building so that we can use that for repairs, because old mortar is different than today's mortar. And it has to do with the brick, how the water can come out of it. If I'm understanding it correctly, I think they're more porous than today's brick. And if the wrong mortar is used, it will actually pop the face of the brick off because the water can't go anywhere. That's the way it was explained to me. So there's those kinds of things, and I even brought back a video on old windows, on how to repair old windows and that sort of stuff. There's a lot of information out there that's free.
So would we be out of line in asking if you would spearhead this information fact-finding for the village council?
I will send you, because I kept it on my computer. What I did is I went to the meeting, I collected the material, and then I sent Ron Campbell my personal notes on, Ron, what do we do here? And that's what he sent to me. And I will forward those to the village, so you've got those for your files.
Okay.
And then, do you want to talk about it? Do you want to ask Ron to come out? He's willing to come and help get it started.
Well, that's
might be a good idea.
That's up to the council, but, a lot of times we work monthly, and some of us daily, on the nuts and bolts of keeping the village operations going, but we don't invest a lot of time in outreach and trying to make tangible differences in how our community is seen. I mean, it's been a pretty static community and unfortunately, it hasn't always been an upgrade. It's been a gradual decline in a lot of ways. So this would be on the part of the council. Not saying we're going to do it. It's certainly not, written in stone yet, but this could be one effort on our part to kind of put the village in a little bit higher spotlight. The most exciting thing that's happened around here, between the Pollyant Trail and the Pokemon game, I've seen more new faces in the village in the last couple of years than I have in the last 25 years. I mean, the trail has really been a real boom to the community. So, but anyway, that's my appreciation of what you've done, Shar. And I think I will distribute information to the rest of the council, and we'll try and follow up on this.
Yep, for Shar's new program of Shar's This Old House.
Okay.
Well, I saw that they had a meeting on historic district commissioners last Thursday, and that's what I went to. Was it Thursday? Or I don't know what day it was. Yeah, it was last Thursday that I went.
Okay, well, if there's nothing more, then we'll follow up on what Shar brought to us. Okay, so moving on to the next item. Council may recall that we annually join the Michigan Coalition to Protect Public Right-of-Ways. These are the people that work on our behalf of local governments to address right-of-way issues facing our state and often even just local communities. They keep an eye on cells. There are plans for millions more cellular antennas across the United States. There's the electric transmission companies. They're building more towers. There's the government educational PEG cable channels. This organization, whose dues for us would be $50.38, also file amicus curiae briefs with the courts when local governments come under attack from right-of-way users for whatever reason. So I would recommend that, as we have in the past, that we go ahead and authorize joining for the upcoming year.
Is that a yearly fee?
Yes, it's every year.
How much is that?
$50.38. They work in conjunction with the Michigan Municipal League. In fact, they used to invoice through the league, but they've become more of an independent entity, so now we get a separate invoice. We still get a legal defense fund invoice with the Michigan Municipal League. So what is the pleasure of the council?
I'll make the motion that we pay the $50.38 yearly fee for the Michigan Coalition of Right-of-Way.
I'll support.
Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Sotheby, yes. Trustee Almarante?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Noaker?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes. Okay, so the motion carried. Thank you. Okay, final item under new business is the program the council authorized me to apply for at the local road improvement matching fund pilot program through Oakland County Board of Commissioners. Our grant was approved. They are asking for you to authorize me as village president to return the grant agreement. And again, we've pledged a $750 matching funds, and we'll be receiving $1,409 from the county board for the Elmwood Street project.
We paid $750 and we're getting $1,000.
$1,400. We're small, and all the formulas that they use, remember how tri-party program was. We got enough money that we couldn't really do anything with it, nothing significant. So, but because we have the Elmwood Street project in the bigger scheme of things, this is positive income, so that's why we went for it.
It's not money lost.
Exactly. And we're gonna spend that $750, so why not spend it on this? Exactly.
Yeah.
So is there a motion to authorize the village president to sign the agreements?
I'll authorize that.
I'll support.
Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Almarante?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Noaker?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes,
Trustee Sotheby, yes.
very good. Okay, motion carries, and I will take care of that. Next item is under old business, and that's the Leonard Trailhead Public Water Update. To date, I have a meeting this Wednesday with the Oakland County Health Sanitarian at the site to make a determination at the trailhead of the potential areas where we could install, and then we'll also begin water sampling at that site as well. So that's really where things are right now.
Water sampling for Oregon.
For public use. The water has to be approved, which means we'll have to get the normal water samples plus a volatile organics test which is the expensive one.
Yeah.
But depending on those findings, we'll determine whether or not we can have a public well. So. Okay, moving on, DPW. I know none of us has been up Forest Street any more than we have to, but Don and Andrea have been doing the crack sealing on North Forest Street because we can. With the lower traffic, it makes it possible for them to get up there. So I think they were going at it today, if I'm not mistaken, as well, but they've been doing it off and on for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, maybe 2 months.
And I'll tell you what, it makes a difference, because if you look when you drive into town from the south, where the cracks are sealed, you don't see water seeping out. Whereas the other ones, like a day later, you'll see moisture right along the cracks. So this is a good investment in that road. Okay, moving on. There were no Freedom of Information Act requests. We also did not receive any requests for assistance through the block grant program. Ordinance enforcement is static. I have begun the process with the new property owner to try and get some cleanup on 104 Beza. I am meeting structured resistance, a lot of, but
Here we go again.
but I have not given up, so
I tell you what you can do. This is really taking.
it's gotta be legal. It's gotta be legal, Cindy.
If I were gonna do that, I would do the illegal myself. Hey, I told him personally that if you don't clean it up, you can bet I'm gonna complain, and I am. He's but he has put a couch or something stuffed in the bushes between Susan's property and his, and it's sitting there. Have you seen it?
No.
To what end?
What the heck? Paul, open your eyes.
Couch?
It's a couch, or it looks like a couch, not maybe an outdoor type couch.
I have spoken with the
It needs to go.
property owner,
By his driveway?
Yes.
trying to get some understanding.
Is he waiting for the garbage to pick it up? They will pick up a big thing.
I think
every
he
3
put it
months.
out, no, well, we have to call him.
Yeah, but every 3 months you can do it.
Well, I don't know, tell
You
me
can do
that.
it, you can do it more
Once a
often. You can do it.
Well, that's what they told me. They called
Well,
me.
It's every 3.
Well, but my understanding was that if you can do it more often than that, not every week, if there's not a lot of other calls, because every resident technically can do that, and not every resident does. So they should be flexible on that. If they're not, give me a call, or tell the resident to let me know, and I will make sure that we get arrangements to get rid of stuff like that.
So is this gonna take another year?
Cindy, I don't know.
We
But
have,
Don't give me that.
But no,
Do it.
I'm this lawyer.
it's gonna start costing them money, because he'll get a ticket probably, I'm gonna have one more conversation with him and see if he actually does something. And then if he doesn't, I will ticket him, and then.
He wrote it today.
Pardon?
Well, again.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem I had with him. I told him I wanted him to clean up there in front of where the house was, and he says, oh, that's all churned up, and I can't get in there. And I'm thinking, he's got a tractor, what is his problem? But that's my goal, is to
Because
get.
there's wooden stuff still there.
Yeah,
I don't know, who he thinks
So-
he's kidding?
so I'm gonna go through the process.
We went through the process,
I know.
so where'd it go? Nowhere.
Yeah, I've been through it twice now, so. Okay,
I'm not done yet. Well, I am on that subject, but I'm
Okay,
gonna,
okay.
on you now.
okay. Well, let's get through the trustee reports, and then I'll let you have a crack at me, okay? Okay,
I won't hurt you.
promises. Okay. The
Just
summer festival committee, Phyllis?
I wasn't here last month.
Lucky you.
The festival was great. We were down in attendance, but I went to 2 other festivals and they were too. Blueberry Festival had the worst attendance they have ever had. I don't know what it
I
is.
don't know if it was the heat or.
I don't know,
Yeah.
because, I thought, this was terrible, but, I mean, we weren't that low, but, I went to the Blueberry Festival and I talked to the people in charge of that, and they were really disappointed too. In fact, they canceled a lot of stuff because there wasn't enough people.
That's probably the heat, I know that.
Yeah.
Was that-
Here was-
Where was that? Drive?
In the city.
Which city, yeah.
Mhm, yeah. We only had to take $2,000, I think, out of our fund, out of our checking account because we got a lot of donations this year, and which was good. Other than that, we're doing our Texas Hold'em this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and hopefully we'll make a lot of money.
Sounds good. Okay. Cable Commission, anything new there, Shar?
They haven't met.
No meetings, okay. Decorating Committee,
No meetings.
no meetings. Planning Commission, meetings?
That's my night to work. down
Oh,
there.
okay.
I gotta
Oh,
work.
that's,
That's my night, that's my
Okay.
night, I gotta work.
well, we don't have anything upstairs, do we, Judy? So-
When I did the schedule.
But we're gonna have to look.
We have
fill
to
this in
have a
separate-
meeting, yeah.
And we can definitely discuss the master plan
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
take a look at, the other stuff. I'll try and get a hold of, I've got to do some other stuff with Phil Atkinson too, so hopefully we'll get them moving.
Okay, yeah, somehow I'll try to have one. I'm gonna be going out of town that same week next month, but I think I can come back on Thursday, because I'm just gonna leave over.
Or just, make arrangements to have a pro town,
I'll do something, I'll make sure. I think we have to meet 3 times a year.
3 or 4, I'm not sure which. Remember, Judy?
I think it's 3.
It might be at least 3.
Yeah, and we've already met once or twice this year.
Well, I can only remember once.
I looked it up, I can't remember.
Okay.
I'll make sure that we
As long as we're
have,
on top of it.
yeah,
we
I
should.
checked it.
Okay.
Do you need a motion to cancel?
Yeah, motion, is there a motion then to cancel the regular planning commission meeting in the month of September?
I'll make a motion to cancel the planning meeting for the month of September.
Is there support?
Also,
Mr. Almarani, any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of canceling the September planning commission meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay. Pollyant Trail Management Council.
Oh, here we go.
Let's see, what time is it? Because this is gonna take a while. No, seriously. As you probably have heard or recall, the trail manager has tendered his resignation effective September 22nd, 21st. The next trail management meeting is September 21st. At which time we expect to, hopefully, we've been interviewing new manager candidates, and also we hope to approve the bids for constructing the Iron Bell Trail signs, where the Pollyant is included in that part of the Iron Bell Trail. We got a $15,000 grant for that, so hopefully that'll be taken care of. Currently, there is a tree trimming project going on. You may have seen the tractor or heard the noise. It's just south of, or I should say, just west of Curtis Road today. It hasn't made as good a progress as had been hoped, but we've got our fingers crossed that they'll get. The original project was to go from Boardman to the village of Oxford, so we'll see how far it gets. And with that,
That was it. I just wanted to hear you tell me again where these were supposed to go to. He's not been out that way.
Yeah, I know, I've
You know,
talked.
what do they expect? They let it go and let it go, and it's like a jungle now.
You're absolutely right, and that's what he has said. He said, and if he comes back in less than a year's time or 2 years' time and cleans it again, he said, we'll be good for a long time, but he said, you can't let them grow in like that. And he's going out 4 to 7 feet where he can. He's not taking the big trees, but he's getting everything
that's
else.
fine.
And,
It's basically the hickory
Yeah.
things that are now overgrowing the
yeah,
trail.
I'm worried about north
Me
of
too.
Durst. And to that end, I've talked with Bruce Pearson, and we're We had some trail damage done by a utility company out there. If you remember, there was some tracks in the,
Yeah.
well, that company said that they would come out and repair whatever we wanted on that stretch. So I'm reaching out to Bruce, and hopefully through Bruce, we'll get a hold of them. And if this guy, if we run out, if the trail council runs out of money, then we'll get it done a different way. But yeah, I was really hoping you'd start at Boardman Road and go this way.
I know why they started there and going into Oxford. It's not lost on me.
What is it?
Because of the big trail ride coming up.
Oh,
I'm not stupid. And that's my fear. That'll be done. They'll get it all
Yeah.
cleared and then that'll go by the
Yeah,
wayside.
that was never consciously part of the plan though, Cindy. I just learned today, when he came to Leonard and didn't go to Boardman, I thought he did in Leonard, and my understanding was then he was gonna go to Boardman. I just today found out that he was down to Curtis.
Both
He hadn't
sides,
been.
yeah, I'm not complaining of it.
Yeah.
They needed it too.
No, I know, it all needs I was very happy that the management council agreed to do this. It's at considerable expense, it's like $8,500. But we needed to get more done than what he's got done, so fingers are crossed. Okay, moving on.
What about the trail ride? Is there any more information on that? And
No.
where are they going to be?
The trail ride is going to be Saturday. It will be starting at the trailhead. My understanding is the trail manager has spoken with Cooper Standard and they are going to let them use the parking lot for parking if need be. Right now they have 12 horses registered. They hope to get more before the date. Although like with all things, like with strawberry festivals, Metamora Hunt's having their weekend, that's next weekend too. So people that might have ordinarily been interested in doing this are going to go to Metamora for the hunt activities. So timing is everything. But we're optimistic. They're going to be leaving the trailhead and taking a ride towards Oxford. I believe it's 5 miles. I'm not sure where that puts them. That puts them right outside Oxford, actually. And then they'll be coming back. And then there's supposed to be a dance, line dancing.
Yeah, at the trailhead, that's where I wondered.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know, where are they eating and where are these activities supposed to be?
They're good. As far as I know, they're at the trailhead.
Because they told the line dancers it would be on cement, which there's any cement over there, is
Well,
there?
it may be. Well, that
By
may
the
be.
garage.
No, it's not very good. No, I'm thinking that they're going to use part of Cooper Standard. That was the plan back in June when it was canceled and moved to September. Cooper Standard had agreed to let them use a portion of the property for parking and for that use. So, and there is a lunch as well, and tickets are available even if you don't have a horse. But it's a fundraiser, it's for the trail. So we'll see how it goes. You gotta start somewhere, something new.
I think it's a good idea. As long as the trail's cleared out a little bit.
Right.
You can't get too abreast down them.
Right. Okay, Main Street, I don't think we have anything going on there, just the historical thing. Okay, and then Community Development Block Grant, you all received the report, plus
Village Park.
Oh, there is a Village Park. There you go, getting all worked up. Is there a meeting this week, Mike?
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Okay. Wednesday at 7 here. Do you know when the next work day is?
Pardon?
Do you know when the next work day is?
I think it's Saturday.
Is it the same day?
I think so. It's either 17th or, I thought it was 17th. Which means you're not going to be there.
No. I don't have it down as the 17th, but that doesn't mean it isn't.
Today's the 21st. I have it in my notes, but.
Okay, well, anyway. Not much going on there. Okay, block grant, we did receive the report. NODA, we have a meeting this Wednesday? Thursday?
Yep.
At which time we're expected to adopt our budget and also to create the resolution, create the authority so that it becomes a regional transportation authority rather than a locally based authority. And by that I mean, instead of 3 communities voting independently and determining whether or not who gets what service, the three townships, Addison, Oxford, and Orion, will be as one. So the voters in that authority will make a decision as to how it's funded, and gives it a little more security, so that a community like Addison, where we had a difficult time winning approval for it, it would hinge on support from the entire area, not just one area.
This isn't something to do with that deal that we were gonna be put into it and taxed, or couldn't use it?
No, but that is on the ballot for November. That's the Regional Transit Authority. And they did put that on the ballot, and they did it kind of sneaky. They've said all along they were gonna do it, but then they postponed it 2 weeks because making the decision to put it on the ballot because there was so much anti-public publicity. So they put it off 2 weeks. Now it's on the ballot and nobody's talking about it yet. So it'll be interesting. But that's one that deserves to die.
You're not kidding.
A mean and horrible death. I'm all in favor of regional transportation, but only if it serves the region, and that one doesn't. All that does is create a rail line between Detroit and Ann Arbor.
Yeah, they're starting to push ads out on it now.
Yeah, it's
Lynn and I had a meeting with them.
oh, really?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. We also joined in with the MTPA, which is the authority for public transportation in Michigan. So we got a lot of good information out of that, those meetings there, and made a lot of good new friends that have gone through a lot of the things that we're going through now. So we're getting a lot of good advice and good direction. And the RTA thing is going to be kind of tough, but there can be some good things coming out of it, but not for a long time.
Yes. And meanwhile, we're paying for it.
Yeah.
And given the history of regional transit authorities, they're literally years in construction before there's any transportation involved. And that's really, I guess that's par for the course nowadays, but it's like more government in action. You know, that's the beauty of NODA, Doug. NODA gets things done.
Their vow is basically to get the funds and then pay it as they go instead of paying up front. That's
a joke.
It's hard to swallow.
Yeah, that's a joke. Because they're depending on government funding for the lion's share, or they gotta pick people's pocket. So, I'm still not in favor of it. It's not comprehensive enough to give a timeline that says in 2021, there will be a rail line coming up to the northern part of Oakland County even. Nothing as broad as that. There's no language at all. You know, it's ridiculous. Okay, enough, I'll get off my soapbox. Okay, I have no correspondence. Is there any other business to come before the council? Well, thank you all for attending. Is there a motion to adjourn? Traditionally,
the motion to adjourn.
There we go. Mr. Hoffman, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for attending.